Hi. Leading up to update 0.4.c, which you'll be able to get your hands on very soon, thought it'd be a good idea to release a few videos just showcasing some of the new stuff that is coming to the game. This is to give some actual explanation or insight behind them that is easier to do through commentary than just putting a wall of text on screen or in a Discord server. So hopefully you guys enjoy this format because, at least for me, more insight's always something I appreciate from other devs, and I know I've been lacking that department for a while now, at least consistently. But anyway, what I wanted to show today was the new updated enemy movement AI, along with a few tidbits to go along with it, and excitingly, the first new sounds for the game. I'm just going to be showing some gameplay in the background of what I'm talking about as well, so you can get some kind of visual to go off of. So first things first, the new and updated enemy movement AI basically just stops the dinosaurs from behaving like heat-seeking missiles. How it works is they will actually move towards a delayed version of your position and will only switch to targeting the player directly if the player is within a certain range or line of sight in front of them. So what this means for you is that the dinosaurs can actually be maneuvered around or dodged in some cases, and it generally just makes their movement feel or look a lot more natural than before. And this is a pretty big step in improving the general enemy AI because it's been really, really basic for a long time. And while there's still many changes or additional mechanics and behaviors that I could add to the AI in the future, I'm pretty happy with the current results. Uh, it just gets rid of how silly it looked, at least at a base level, so I'm pretty happy about that. One thing that this change also brought with it was the new head tracking on the dinosaurs, which, as you've probably already seen, the gameplay look towards you no matter what angle the body is facing, except not behind them, obviously, or they shouldn't. For most enemies, this is simply visual, but it is nice looking. But it doesn't really mean much in terms of gameplay. However, the Dilo actually shoots where its head is pointing now, and now it has the new predictive aiming to go alongside with it. So the reason for this was because before the update, the Dilo spit was actually really inconsistent in hitting the player, despite having some of the strongest abilities in the game, which seemed pretty counterintuitive to me. And this was because as long as you were moving at all, you could pretty much dodge any of the projectiles that it shot at you. Now with the predictive aiming, the Dilo will always hit you no matter what if you aren't paying attention, just moving in a straight line. And this makes it more of an actual threat in the moment of combat and less like some background enemy that exists to accidentally hit you sometimes and just annoy you. But since it's predictive, it's also easier to deliberately dodge now too. Since if you make it shoot towards one direction, if you move the other, it will just miss you completely. So you can kind of strafe dodge it. For those of you who are FPS players or kind of understand that terminology, but another small addition to the AI, which isn't as important but also still nice, is the ability for the Rex boss to walk backwards if you were on its side or behind it, which allows me a lot more flexibility in how much the player is allowed to be around it now with the various stuns, staggers, or otherwise, so that's good. Finally, I want to talk about those new sounds. So, you never really notice how important sounds or good sound design is until you actually experience it. And for reference, when playtesting the game, I always just listen to some music or a video in the background, and it helps to not notice how dead the game is without sound. If you've playtested any of the previous versions of the game so far, you've probably asked the question, like, where the hell are the sounds, right? Uh, well, I guess you're in luck because it's pretty much the first pass on adding sounds to the game. I wasn't planning on adding them this early, but due to a combination of burnout and curiosity, I decided to just dabble in it a bit, and I liked it, so I did it for a few things and just kept it in for this update. Currently, they're placeholders since I want the final sounds to uphold some kind of better standard of quality than just edited free sound effects. which are pretty much what these placeholders are, but for now, they work surprisingly well for what they are. There's only a few of the sounds done so far, so those are being like the gunshot sounds for the primary and secondary modes, the hit sounds for the enemies and the player, or on the enemies and the player, I should say, death sounds for the enemy, a sound when your gunshots, for your gunshots when your magazine's running empty, a reload sound, and a roar sound for the Rex's roar attack. I thought that was enough to just cover most of the basics and get a feel for how the sounds would be like for the game, but many more will be coming in future updates, especially when I actually do a standalone sound and music update, so you can look forward to that in the future. But anyway, enough of that. If you guys enjoy this format or just want to ask me about something, then feel free to leave a comment or just message in the Discord. I'll leave you with some standalone gameplay here at the end so you can see some of the new things in store and just hear the new sounds. So, yeah, thanks for watching.